Welcome, guys, to the free digital product training. Now, this is how you can earn an extra £1,000 a month as a complete beginner selling digital products. And the best part is, you don't even need to show your face. Now, so over the last 7 months, I've made over £90,000. And as you can see here, we've almost hit 3,000 orders. So, yeah, 91, just over £91,000. So it's absolutely crazy. And I only started doing digital products last year, so this is still fairly new for me. And the opportunity here is absolutely insane. So I just basically wanted to do this free course to walk you through exactly how I've done it and how you can do it as well. So before we kick off, let me just talk to you about my background and a little bit about my story. So, because I was just like you when I started, I'm nothing special, I'm not like the most intelligent, but I just want to make it clear that I'm a completely normal guy who's just put the work in, being consistent, and it's paid off. So, a bit about me. So, in 2023, I was actually working full time still, and I was doing overtime just to make ends meet. So, I was up at 5 o'clock every morning, sitting in traffic on the way to work, sitting in traffic on the way home, getting home around 6 p.m. And I know that's pretty normal. This average person has that same sort of lifestyle, and that's why I want to help people escape that lifestyle. So I was making around 2,200 every month, which was barely enough to cover bills. If you factor in things like your mortgage, your bills, and it's barely enough to afford that sort of stuff. So I was in a very toxic workplace as well, and there was not really any opportunity to earn more money. Like, sure, you could say I could do more overtime and things like that, but that I wanted to earn more doing the same amount of work. I wanted to progress within the company, and there wasn't really an opportunity to do that. Now, yeah, sure, I could do overtime, but then I'm working more. I'm having less free time to do what I want to do in life. And really, that you can't work all the time. You want to have your own privacy, your own breaks, and enjoy time with family and friends. And this is what life is all about. It's not all about just working 24/7. So yeah, very toxic workplace. They were very disrespectful to the staff there, and they didn't really give anyone the opportunity to make more money. They didn't talk to people very nice. It was just a very toxic workplace, and yeah, I'm so glad to get out of there, which I'll touch on in a sec. But so yeah, for the last couple of years working there, so I actually started learning about e-commerce, which is selling physical products online. Now I started that around 2021, but I basically just really struggled with results. It took me a long time to actually see some benefit from learning this. I spent a lot of money and a lot of time learning this, and it wasn't easy. I'm not going to say it was an overnight thing, because it's not true at all. I spent every evening after work building skills, knowledge, and businesses, and basically just testing ideas until, because I knew I wanted to get out, right? I knew I didn't. I knew I needed to earn more money. I wanted more flexibility. I wanted more time, and the only way I could see that happening is if I started my own business. Now, yeah, so let's move on to 2023 November. So this is when I finally had my break. So I'd been building a few businesses, and one of them actually took off. So I managed to build it into a six-figure e-commerce business from the ground up. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't my only business. I had multiple failures. I probably started around 10 businesses, and really only eight of them failed, right? So only a couple, one or two, actually pay back, the effort that you put in, because this is just how it works. A lot of the time in business, not every business is going to succeed, and that's just something we have to accept. So you just have to keep going, and just don't quit, because when you quit, that's when you truly fail. So if you keep going, you will work on your skills, you will gain that knowledge over time, and it's just a matter of time before you actually build a business that gives you the life that you want. So yeah, so I built that business up to a six-figure business, and in January 2024, so last year, I actually quit my job and went all in with e-commerce, and it was the best feeling ever. Walking into my boss's office, the boss I despised, and handing him my resignation letter was honestly that is when I felt like my dreams were coming true right then. So Yeah, honestly, leaving that toxic workplace to work on my own businesses and make as much money, how much time as I want, that was the dream from day one. So in June that year, so I actually had been building that business even more, and I managed to get £100,000 in profit in the bank. And I started to see what I could do with that money. So I invested in an Airbnb. Now, this was a fantastic opportunity because now I'm putting my money into an asset that's going to compound over time. So not only is the property gaining value, but we make a really good income from the monthly guests that stay, right? So this is the benefit of building an online business, because when you do start making money, you can start to look for investments to secure your money and make that money compound over time. So it's not all about buying supercars and buying flashy things, flashy holidays. Sure, that's great. But at the very start, guys, we want to make sure the money we do make, we put into investments so it compounds, and then we're very secure and we start building wealth and we'll never be poor ever again. If you go out buying supercars, fancy clothes, designer clothes, and expensive stuff, and your lifestyle increases, you won't see the benefit of the wealth that you're building, because your salary will go up, but your lifestyle increases with that. So it's very important that we look to invest in opportunities before we start doing the expensive stuff. So in September, 2024, this is when I started helping others with their stores. So I got a lot of questions from people really struggling with their previous mentors and courses they've done, and they saw the success I was having. So I had a few people reach out and I started to help them on the side, and I realized that I really like doing this. I really like the idea of helping people build their businesses too and changing their life. So I decided to build a community plus a training course. And also that month, I started learning about digital products. So this was a brilliant idea, because building a community, building a training course is a digital product. So I started using that opportunity and I went all in, and I realized that it's fantastic because I can help people, I can share my knowledge, and I can share my knowledge and I can start helping people reach their goals, quit their jobs, and things like that. So now, May 2025, I'm now making an extra £10,000 per month with digital products alone. Now, this is fantastic because what started as a side hustle is now basically a decent income just from digital products alone. And it's only going to get better from here. So what you'll learn or find out in this free training. So you're going to find out what digital products are, how to do this without even showing your face, because that's a question I get all the time. So you don't need to show your face. One of the first businesses that I started with digital, it was a completely faceless brand. So you don't have to show your face. This is perfect for people who don't want to do that. But by all means, if you don't mind that sort of thing, then that works as well. I mean, it probably works a little bit better if you do show your face, but it's not a problem. There's ways of doing this completely faceless. So also how everyday people are making real money online with this, how much you can actually earn, and my exact content formula for going viral. So what I do / have done to make over £90,000 as of recording this. So basically, I sell digital products, plus I help beginners start selling digital products and also physical products as well. So I started with a completely faceless brand and I still made £5,000. I don't resell a £400 course, and I have never bought one. You see them all over the internet, these like £400 courses that you buy and then you just resell the course, right? That's not what I want to teach. I want to teach you the actual skills and knowledge to build your product yourself around your own brand. So yeah, again, what started as a side hustle now funds a comfortable lifestyle from digital products alone. Now you might be asking, what are digital products? Right, to put it simply, let's say a digital product is an ebook, a PDF, or a course. It can be many other things, but let's just stick to those three just so we can make it clear and easy to understand, right? So let me talk about some examples of products that we can use. So these are just some different niches that we could go into. Now, Let's look at home and lifestyle, for example. We could sell a decluttering and home reset guide. We could sell a digital planner for busy families, interior design mood board templates. We could look at money and finance, so budgeting spreadsheets, side hustle idea banks, debt payoff trackers. That would be brilliant for freelancers and stuff like that. So in the fitness and health niche, we could look at healthy meal prep recipe books, nutrition coaching guides, calorie trackers. And then we've got travel products. This was actually one of the niches that I was in as a faceless. So like travel itineraries, to-do lists in Thailand, things like that, travel checklists for people going traveling. You'd be really surprised, guys, how, if you're selling a simple digital product that solves a problem in one of these sort of niches, how important that is for someone. So if someone's going to Thailand traveling and maybe they just need an itinerary, maybe they're not sure where to go, they need a checklist because going to these sort of places you need certain jabs, vaccinations, things like that. So to pay 9, 10, maybe £20 for a product that basically solves all your problems all in one place, there's lots of people that will invest in that sort of thing. So parenting and childcare products. So these are things like your baby milestone trackers, nature exploration journals, parenting with special needs ebooks. So another great one, solves a big problem. Lots of people struggling with children with special needs, and maybe they need some guidance from someone who's been there, done it. And then social media. So social media content planners, growth guides, programs with resale rights / affiliate. So they're just some simple niches, guys. But the way to look at this is, I like to choose a niche in the health, wealth, and relationships niches, because they're the three biggest niches that people spend a lot of time and a lot of money worrying about. So if you're going to start off, those three niches, health, wealth, and relationships, are probably they're what we call evergreen niches. So they're popular all year round. They never go out of trends because people care a lot about them and they're willing to spend a lot of money to solve the problems. So how anyone can make money doing this. So let's say we have our digital product, depending on what we want to do. So ebook, PDF, course. We use social media, and this is how we promote it. So mainly the main platforms are Instagram and TikTok. So Instagram is brilliant for building brands. TikTok's really good for going viral. So it's a lot easier to go viral on TikTok still. So we have our digital product. We use social media to promote it. And of course, there is other platforms like Facebook, Threads, X, Pinterest, Snapchat, YouTube. But for now, to keep it simple, let's stick with the two most popular, which are Instagram and TikTok, for short form content, because it's a lot easier to create this sort of content. So we promote our products, we promote our brand, we start talking about problems on these platforms, and we start to build an audience. Now, these are your customers. So these are your likes, your comments, your shares, your followers. We start to build an audience from the social media content we post, right? Now, the idea of building an audience, we push people through to the store, which is our base. Now, this is where we're going to hold our product, which we're going to host our product on the store, right? So we use content to build an audience, and we push that audience to the store, and that's where we make a sale. So it's as easy as that, guys. Now, let me break it down a bit further. So let's start with the mindset. So this is the framework. So I want you guys to stop asking questions like, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? Because it's reframing questions like that and reframing your mindset, which is going to open up doors, and it's going to allow you to think optimistically and start taking risk. But because that's what business is all about. It's about trying things. It's about testing to see what works and what you can improve on. So sure, you could ask, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does, right? If this works, this can completely change your life, replace your income, and allow you to travel the world, building digital products, selling them all over the world without having a boss. Like, that's what happens if it works, right? What if it doesn't work? Well, so what? You're back to where you are now, right? The worst thing that can happen is you spend some time doing this, and if it doesn't work, you're back at your job, you're back at your 9 to 5, doing the exact same thing. But if it does work, then, the world is yours, right? So, also, I think it's important to realize that a plan without goals is like trying to read a map without knowing where you want to end up, right? You follow a path, but you're going in random directions, because if you don't know where you want to end up, then the map is pointless. You need to have a goal. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Where do you want to be in 12 months, right? If we have a goal, we can map it out and we can plan what we need to do to achieve that goal. So if we're not making any sales, then, to put it simply, we need more people to sell to. If we need more people to sell to, then we need more leads. So in this course, I will teach you how to create a lead generation machine without paid ads using your Instagram or TikTok account. So just a quick disclaimer, you still have to put in the work, guys. So nothing happens by accident. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Sure, some people can go viral overnight, and it does happen every now and again, but that's not the norm. You still have to put in the work. You have to show up every day. You have to put in the effort to build this product. You have to put in the effort to build the content, the marketing machine, and engaging with the customers and things like that. It's not a get rich quick scheme. This is a real business. You're building something that has the potential to, insanely grow, right? So passive income still requires upfront load work, right? Sure, we can get to the point where we're building a passive income, but it does take work to get there. You have to put that upfront work in. So, part one, content to sales flywheel. Now, I call this the flywheel because this is basically how it works, guys. So we create content, right? Promoting our brand, talking about people's problems, talking about how our product provides a transformation where the person is now to the outcome that they're desired, right? And our product is the thing in the middle that helps them get from A to B. So we post content, we build relationships. So again, these are the people that follow us, the likes, the comments, the people that comment on our content, share it, save it, whatever. These are the relationships that we're building through social media. Now, the next part of the flywheel is sales. So hopefully we're posting content, we're building relationships, and then we're getting sales from the relationships we build. Now, the next stage is results, right? So if people buy your product, they use your product, and they get results. Now, this is brilliant because what happens is we can use these results in the content. And this flywheel starts spinning faster and faster because we're using testimonials, reviews, feedback, things like that to improve the product and to promote the product in the content. Because if we've got all these results, then it makes us look way more credible, and we can start to use that to show, if these 50 people over here have got this result, well, then you're likely to get this result too. So this is why this flywheel is brilliant, and it's basically as simple as that, guys. So content, relationships, sales, results. So let's start with the content. So without content, nothing happens. We have to post content. Content is the lead generation machine. So these are obviously your views, likes, and comments are your best friends. If you have a lot of them, great. Let's turn them into sales. If you haven't, don't worry, you will soon. So the next in the flywheel is relationships. So relationships are the heart of your business. Remember, people are behind the screens, because I think it's easy to think on social media when you see people sharing your stuff, liking it, commenting. There's a human being behind the screen, right? Just remember that, because, the world's gone digital, but there's always a human interacting behind that screen. So think of your business like hosting a dinner party. Every visitor is a guest. You've set the table, curated the music, and prepared their favorite dishes. Now, you wouldn't just throw food on the table and walk away, would you? You would check in, you would make conversation, and make sure they leave feeling cared for and wanting to come back. That's the very important part. But on Instagram and TikTok, new followers drop in, and we often treat it like they're gate crashing a party. No hello, no intro, and just straight into the chaos, and then wonder why they don't stick around, and they even unfollow us, right, in some cases. So let's move on to the sales part. So people always say to me, I'm not good at sales. You are, you just haven't listened to the lead and given an option to solve their problem yet. So a lot of sales is just asking people questions. and you're just trying to dig deeper to get to the root of the problem so you can help them solve their problem, right? If you're just trying to go in there and make a sale by basically saying things like, buy my program or buy my product, that's not going to work. We need to find out the root cause of their problem and see if we can solve it with our product. We're not just selling a product or a program. You're selling the desired outcome and the transformation. Remember, A to B, their problem to their solution. Our product brings that desired outcome and provides the transformation effect. So to make more money, you need to make more sales. To make more sales, you need more offers. And to make more offers, you need more people. So sales, offers, leads. So leads, offers, sales. So how many offers have you got? 1, 5, 10, 20? How many leads have you got? Followers, views, etc. And how many sales have you made? Because this is massively dependent on the above two questions. Because if we can get more offers and we can get more leads, then we're going to make more sales. It's a game of numbers. Okay, guys? It's all it is numbers. So results. What makes a good product? Now, when we're building a product, we just need to make sure that these are the sort of things we're looking for. So does our product provide really solid results? Does our product provide loads of value? Does our product make someone's job easier or quicker? Speed, right? Or does our product provide support? And preferably, if you can provide all 4 of these things, that's a fantastic product. So these 4 areas, results, value, speed, and support, if you can build a product that has all 4 of them, then that's a brilliant product, right? So part 2, how to go viral. So what it takes. So these are the 3 types of content that I believe are the best to post on social media. So we have our inspirational content, we have our transformational content, and we have our educational content. This is your value, where you're teaching people stuff. So inspirational content is, for example, content about your journey, what it is that you actually do, and just some examples of some hooks that we could use for this sort of content. So I started X 5 days ago, and here's how it's going. And this could be just a simple video with some text on the screen, and this hooks people in, right? So another one, here's what I found out about X, so you don't have to. Or I tried X for 10 days, and here's what happens. You know, sometimes I come across content where people are using hooks like this, and I'm not even interested in the subject or the product, but I watch it just because I want to find out, you know, they've been using this product for 5 days. I want to see how it's going, right? It hooks you in, even if you're not interested. So transformational sort of content. This is content about how you've changed / hit target. So this is how I've hit X in 10 days. So this could be followers, lost weight, for example, anything like that. Or how I went from A to B. So 9 to 5 to working from home, for example. So people, you know, that's interesting, right? If people are stuck in the 9 to 5, they want to know how you went from A to B. Why I started doing X and how it's helped me. So another good one. And then educational content. So this is helping your viewers or proof that your product is valuable. So here's 5 secrets to lose weight within 10 days, right? We're actually giving tips. 5 things you need to know about going viral before posting. If you want to start making digital products with no experience, this is for you. So yeah. So basically think of that, guys, as just we're trying to help people provide value over social media to get people to know, like, and trust us and see us as someone with knowledge, right? So if you're stuck with content, try these tips. Switch up your content style. So if you've been doing the same content week in, week out, it's time to make a change, because the same actions equals the same results, right? So the best thing I found that works to keep consistent and go viral is doing things like this. So film yourself randomly doing anything and everything, right? So if you're making coffee, just put the tripod up and get some 5 to 10 second clips for B-roll. We call this sort of content B-roll. So if you're walking down the street, sorry, there's a few spelling mistakes there. So we call this B-roll. Basically, just record yourself doing anything. So on the beach, record it. Walking down the street, record it. At the gym, record it. Going shopping, record it. So your content doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be relatable, transformational, or valuable to the viewer. And use quick clips in the next tips. So yeah, just basically record yourself, guys. Get on my phone. I have a folder just full of B-roll, and then when I want to basically create a quick piece of content, all I need is the video, some text on the screen, and then some nice trending music over the top. So it doesn't have to be a highly edited piece of content. If we're going to post a couple of times a day, we want to make sure we're doing it quick and effective, right? We don't want to be sitting around editing videos for hours on end. We want to be able to put out quick content to be able to start getting sales. So if you don't want to create content, don't worry, you can get videos that are done for you inside the Commerce Club. So this is a big thing that I'm bringing into the Commerce Club. I want to help people get some B-roll and stuff they can use for social media. So I'm building that as we speak, and that'll be in very soon. So just send me a DM if you want to that sort of content, because I've got a few places where I can send you to, or I can gift you over some stuff. So yeah, inspirational. So show people what's possible for them by following you. Educational, teach someone something new, so then they save and come back for more. And transformational, so tell your rags to riches story. So show people how you can help them too. So if you've achieved anything, you've done something crazy, something amazing, tell your story, how you went from A to B, right? So some honest advice. So my honest advice is to post 2 times a day, if you can, Reels and TikTok, twice a day. So one a day doesn't really cut it anymore, especially when you're starting out, because you need to get into the algorithm. You need to show these social media platforms that you're serious and you're going to be consistent, so then they start pushing your content out to more people. And also, if you're posted well, don't just stop reposting it. I would recommend using that same piece of content, maybe changing it slightly, or even post the same thing. Maybe wait a month or so and then repost it, because if it did well the first time, it's very likely to do well the second time, right? So how I hit over 24,000 in 1 month and reached over 5 million people. So 24,000 in digital product sales using the exact funnel above. Now, this is a different store, but this is, as you can see here, 5 million people reached just on Instagram with free Reels. Now, this is absolutely insane. 5 million views. We had 10,000 saves on that one, 12,000 saves on that one, hundreds of comments, hundreds of thousands of likes, and reached millions of people. So this is absolutely crazy, guys. This is what's achievable with short form if you stick at it and you post the right sort of content, right? Now, this isn't normal. These are the only 3 that I've had that have gone this crazy. So don't think that this is going to happen overnight or every post. To get posts like this, you need to post a lot, and it's all a volume game, right? But it's doable, guys. It's really doable. And by the way, you don't need this amount of views to make that much money. You can make crazy amounts of money just getting a few thousand views, right? As long as you're hitting the right audience, that doesn't matter. So it's not about going viral. It's about just posting content that attracts the right buyer. So step 1, the foundations. So how do we turn the viewers into paying customers? So basically, we want to train the audience to engage and comment with our posts. Now, this, however, doesn't replace you from working. It just helps. So we can use keyword in our post, right? So you've probably seen on social media people doing things like comment the word start and I'll send you my free guide, right? This is how we can start to build the funnel, because what we're doing by doing that is we can use platforms, which I touch on in the training, in the community. We can use platforms to automatically send them the link to our free product, and all they have to do is exchange their email address, their name, maybe phone number, and then we've got their details, right? We're pulling people off the platform. We've now got a funnel. We've got people's emails, which we can contact at a later date. And this is how we can start building the business, because we're giving away a free product, a free guide, a free ebook, something like that, in return for their data. And the way it works is, for example, we could have a landing page, we could have intro video. We don't need an intro video, but they work quite well. We have a call to action. This is where people can buy the product, they can get the free ebook, and then we've got that email, right? And now this is where it gets exciting, because now we can have a conversation with them. We've got their details, we can email them at any time. Any future products that we decide to release, sorry, we can put them into an email flow. We've got their details, right? And that's how we print money. Okay, simple as that, guys. Obviously, there's a bit more to it, but this is, landing page, call to action, video, email, and then we can have that conversation and start selling. So step 2, low ticket offer. So this is the obviously the foundations, guys, but step 2 is your low ticket offer. So I actually made 1,100 in 1 month selling a £30 product. Now, I've done this for a reason. I wanted to show you that you don't need expensive products / programs to be successful, because that's not a bad amount of money in 1 month just from a £30 product, right? And I could have pushed that to way more, but for other reasons I stopped. So this is just a low ticket offer that I was testing, basically. So I created a bundle worth £30 full of products that were in demand at the time. Now, I used Canva to create and add these products, and I created a stand store page where you get 14-day free trial, meaning that you can make sales before even paying. So yeah, you can sign up, you can start posting content, you can have your product ready, and if you can get sales, you can basically pay for the memberships, right? So this whole thing will be free for you. You don't even need to spend a penny, because social media is free. You can use Canva for free, and Standstore has the free trial. So and then organic marketing with Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, free advertising costs £0. That's the beauty of this. And then step 3 is selling in the DM. So when you do get people follow you and you do start to build an audience, and you've got people commenting as well, like I was saying earlier, we want to start engaging with the audience, right? So let's DM them. If anyone follows you, send them a DM. Say, thanks for following. I'm always curious, what do you do in this insane social media world, right? We're just asking them a simple question, saying that you appreciate the follow. And we're basically just trying to dig a bit deeper to see why they followed you, what their problem is, and whether we can help, right, with one of our products that we're selling, because they followed you for a reason. They've liked your content, they've liked your profile, and they followed you for a reason. Remember that. So let's dig a bit deeper in step 2. So they reply, and then we come back to them and say, wow, that sounds really interesting. How did you get started with, the line of work or project that they mentioned? They come back, and then we come back to them saying, that's amazing. So do you have any big goals or visions for where you'd like to take it over the next year? I'm always inspiring to hear where people want to go, right? So we're, again, trying to dig a bit deeper, trying to find out what their goals and visions are. We're looking for the problem, right? So totally makes sense. What would you say is your biggest challenge or roadblock to hitting that next level? Maybe getting that first £1,000 a month milestone, right? So now we're really diving deep into the problem that they're having and the reason that they followed you. And this is where we can now make the pitch. So depending on what their problem is and what our solution is, we could sell them a low ticket offer, a medium ticket offer, or high ticket offer. Now, a low ticket offer, we could probably say something like, gotcha, well, I have an ebook that teaches you how to turn your content into sales as simple as possible. Would you like to check it out? And we can just link that in the chat, right? Or link to buy. So a medium ticket offer, so this could be maybe something more like a coaching plan, maybe like one-on-one group calls, or just some sort of like coaching thing. So, or even like a program, right? So gotcha, I've worked with X number of clients with this exact problem, and every single time they're missing this one step. Would you be interested in hearing more about how it works, right? So again, we're having a bit more of a conversation just to see if they're interested in this sort of medium ticket profit product that you have. And then we have high ticket offers. So, gotcha, I've worked with X number of clients with this exact problem. Do you have time tomorrow for a quick chat about it? And this is where we can try to get them on a call, right? Because if we can get them on a call, we can meet them, we can speak to them face to face, and start to find out more about their problems and why they're looking for a solution and whether we can solve their problem with our product, right? So 24,000, just under 25,000 in 30 days, selling a £9.99 to £97 digital products, all organic content. So, and that's me and my girlfriend. I'm not sure why I put that there, but yeah, it's completely changed my life, guys. And I'm realizing the benefits of digital products is they're highly, highly profitable. So unlike e-commerce, e-commerce is great, but e-commerce comes with a lot of headaches. You have to buy stock up front. You have to pay lots of money for things like shipping. You have to pack orders or hold that stock somewhere, inventory management, things like that. And yeah, it's great, but the profit margins are a lot lower in physical products over digital, because digital, especially if you're doing this organically, you can post content, you can use these products to make the product for free, and the only fees that you have are like the software fees or the platform fees, right? So, and processing fees. You don't have any fees for stock, because once you make the product, it can sell as many times as one. That's what the beauty is of digital products, is you can just sell the same product that you've created over and over again all over the world without sending a physical order, with Royal Mail or some sort of courier. It's a crazy business, highly, highly profitable. So yeah, so 5-figure sales strategy. So we need to make sure that our sales funnel is clear. So we need to make sure that we know where our leads and sales are coming from. So without a funnel, forget leads and sales anyway. So a funnel, guys, is like I was just showing you, the top of funnel, which is your lead magnet, which would be your free gift in return for an email address, low ticket offer, and then we have medium ticket offer and high ticket offer, and we funnel people through and see what they, what the pain point is and what they would like to buy. So just remember that to make more money, you need more sales. To make more sales, you need more offers. And to make more offers, you simply need to have more conversations. So if people are following you on social media, have more conversations, guys, because it's content to sales. Making more money is just understanding basic math. So let's go through these quickly. So let's say you have a high ticket offer, right? And this is £1,000 offer. So if we can book 50 calls, let's say 40 of them show up, that's 3 calls taken per day with a show rate of 80%, because 10 of them didn't show up, right? Let's say if we can close 10 deals or 10 offers, that's a close rate of 15%. And monthly, that would be £10,000 per month. So as long as this is a recurring revenue thing, we can hit £10,000 a month just from 10 deals closed in a month, right? That's how easy it is to close, to make £10,000 a month. So let's say you have a medium ticket offer, so £200, roughly around there. So, 50 DM conversations in a month, which doesn't sound like a lot, does it? Offers made, 30, show rate, 60. Offers closed, 6 of them, so that's a close rate of 10%, and a monthly income of 1,200, so still fantastic. And then a low ticket offer. So this is more about volume with low ticket. So let's say it costs £47. So, that if we post content and it goes semi-viral, then let's say we can get 2,000 ManyChat sent. So ManyChat is the software that I was referring to earlier. So basically where we can use the feature where we get people to comment and then it automatically sends them the link to our product. So, 3,000 people off, 3,000 people saw it, 2,000 people actually got actually enrolled. And let's say if we can get 200 sales out of that 2,000, that's a conversion rate of 10%, which is quite high to be fair. But that would give us a monthly income of 9,400. Now, altogether, if we do all three of those, that's £20,000, 600, £20,600 in 1 month. So that's absolutely insane. That's life-changing money, guys. That sort of money will enable you to quit your job, do the stuff online full time, travel, do what the hell you want, and build more businesses and do what I've done and invest in things like Airbnbs and start building true wealth, generational wealth, right? So what you thought before is that I can't make any sales, my videos aren't going to go viral, and I'm not going to be able to do this, and I can't do this faceless. Now, what you know now is content. We post simple B-roll content. We post, nothing crazy on these platforms. We be consistent. We post twice a day. We build relationships. We speak to people. We DM people. We have these conversations, and then we make sales, right? The more relationships we build, the more sales we're going to make, the more results we're going to get, and then the more results we get, it helps us make the content, which also speeds up that flywheel, and it gets faster and faster until we can get to the point where it's making so much money that we have different bottlenecks, like maybe you don't have time to fulfill things, have these conversations, and that's where we can look at hiring people and things like that. So let's talk about these. So if we want to generate leads, we need to create content, right? And if we want to create content, we need to find viral content ideas. So it's all about just doing research, see what other people are doing and replicate that. So create and edit in the Instagram app. Now this works quite well. You can use CapCut. I like to use it on my computer because then you can create it really easy for TikTok and Instagram. But I've noticed recently, sometimes if you create in the Instagram app, for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, but it does perform slightly better. So, but it's up to you guys. If you prefer to use like a video editing software, then just do that. Whatever's easier for you, whatever you can put out the most amount of content in, that's what matters the most, right? And then we need to pitch offers. So daily DMs, guys. So if we're getting followers, or even if we already have followers, let's start sending DMs. So 50 DMs a day. It's a numbers game. If you've got thousands of followers, you can do 50 DMs a day, right? And then we need to make sales. So if we can secure 1 to 3 sales per day of a low ticket offer, one sale per day of a medium ticket offer, and a high ticket offer, let's say we can get 2 to 3 calls booked per day, that's where we can start making serious progress. So, and then we obviously want to transform them. So we want to fulfill our promise to the clients. So what they paid for, right? They've paid for a product. We want to make sure our product is good. So sometimes it's worth starting off small, start off with a low ticket product, see if we can help people before we start offering anything high ticket, right? So the 10K scaling system. So 10K a month is only £333 per day. So let's break it down. Let's say your low ticket offer is £47. To earn £10,000 a month and live more comfortable, you only need to sell 8 of your products per day. Just 8. If you're going viral on social media, that 8 is a very low number, right? Let's say your medium ticket offer is £200. You only need to sell 2 a day, just 2. And let's say your high ticket offer is £1,000. So you only need to sell 10 a month, 10 in a whole month. So now you can see how easy it can be. If you're getting thousands of people across your social media platforms and messaging them and offering to them, you only need 10 sales a month and you hit the 5 figures per month, and you still think it's not possible. It absolutely is, guys. And there's only 2 ways to scale and make this last long term. So number 1 is raise your prices. Number 2 is raise the number of your customers. So number 2 is the easiest option. It's a lot easier to get more customers because we can just post more content or run ads and things like that, right? Of course, raising your prices does come down the line once we've got the credibility and we start getting testimonials. That's where we can look to raise the prices. So long term, this can be a brilliant business model because not only are you getting people results, but now you can charge more for the product or service that you're offering. So if you're currently doing a one-on-one coaching face-to-face, maybe you're like some sort of PT online coach, right? Or, any sort of coach, relationship coach, whatever. Why not turn it into a program, a digital program where you don't need to do the one-on-one coaching anymore? Because the problem with one-on-one coaching, absolutely fine at the start to do, but it's not a digital product, and you still need to show up, and you can only coach one person, or sometimes in some cases group coaching, but it's not leveraged, right? You haven't got a digital product on the internet that thousands and thousands of people can watch without you needing to be there. That's the difference. So yeah, if you're always answering the same questions regarding some sort of problem, just make it into a product, make a program out of it. I see it all the time, and that's exactly why I started this community, because I had people messaging me all the time, wanted to jump on Zooms. I spend a lot of time, doing free Zooms with everyone, helping them build their businesses, helping them solve their problems. And I just decided, like, why don't I just make a program out of the thing that people are already asking for my advice with, right? So, is your offer good enough? So, does your offer provide the highest amount of benefits and um, and value that people are willing to pay the price for? So, yeah, is the offer good enough? Because it's all about the offer at the end of the day. Before they buy the product, the offer is what pushes them over the line. So, if it doesn't provide the benefits and the value, then people are not going to pay the price, right? So the price outweighs the benefits. That's why we need to make sure that we price things correctly and we provide enough benefit, right? So does it demonstrate enough transformation plus future benefit to attract your audience? So again, highly important, guys. We need, the bigger the problem, the more benefits our product has, then the easier it is going to be to sell. And niche if you want to blow up. So this is super important. So we need to niche down. So you can't be an expert of everything. You need to niche down into a subject, right? So my niche is making money online through selling products on the internet, whether that's digital or physical. That's my niche, right? I love the whole e-commerce. I love digital products because that is basically the closest thing to e-commerce, right? Because you're still selling products on the internet. It's just digital rather than physical. But that's my niche. I love making money on the internet, and I love helping other people make money on the internet. So, are your customers in need and paying for your product, right? So, do they need your product? How big is the problem? So, also number two, so do they have funds for it? That's another important part, because think of that question like, let's say you're selling to students, right? Students do not have a lot of money. It's a well-known fact that students do not have a lot of money. So if you're trying to sell an expensive um, product or program to students, just bear in mind that they don't have the funds for it really. Most students are fairly poor, right? They don't have jobs, they're at uni spending a lot of money living. They don't have the funds to spend thousands of pounds on a program. So yeah, think of that. Just bear that in mind when you're creating your product. So, are they easy to sell to? Always on social media. Another one. So, you know, for example, we could sell to the older audience, right? We could target older people, but the problem with older people is they don't tend to spend much time on social media just because of the generation they were born in, right? It's not, social media is not as used as it is for, my sort of generation, where slightly younger sort of audience, right? So is it a growing niche or industry? So we can check this on things like Google Trends and just make sure that it's growing, right? There's no point creating a product for an industry that's dying. And guys, that brings us to the end of this free training. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this very useful. And by all means, go away and start building your digital product today. I mean, I've given you tons of upfront value and information, and you can use that to start your journey today, right? But I just want to say that I run a program with 600 plus students as of making this free course. It's actually slightly more now. And basically, I help them create and scale their own online businesses, selling digital products and coaching businesses effectively with one simple funnel plus strategy the whole way through. Now, this is a fairly new community, and I've put together a masterclass teaching everything about digital products, way more in depth than this free course, and it's priced at the moment for £50 per month, which is less than the price of a coffee every single day. Now, I want to make it clear this price won't stay this low for that long. Now, anyone that joins now will be locked in at this price, but this will be going up very, very soon. So, if you want to learn more from me, you want to join the Commerce Club community, you want to watch the masterclass and all the other content that I put on there, I'm also holding weekly calls and I offer personal one-on-one support through the community. So you can DM me anytime and I can help you solve any bottlenecks you have, any problems, and we can scale your business and give you that life that you're looking to achieve, whether it's leaving your 9 to 5, earning a bit of extra money on the side, whatever you want to do, guys. That's the goal. The goal is to make money. The goal is to live life freely, travel the world. And this is exactly what I'm helping people do inside the community. We've already had tons of people get really good results so far. So there'll be tons of testimonials coming very soon. But again, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you inside the community. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.